Hey man, my name is Robert Egger, and I'm recording at the DC Central Kitchen in the basement of the biggest shelf in America. Now, word's been kind of buzzing around the nonprofit hive that our good friend Rush Limbaugh recorded a show last week in which he called nonprofit employees, and I mean all nonprofit employees, lazy idiots, and he also suggested that nonprofits are rapists in terms of finance and the economy. Well, I'm real interested in that. I've been giving it a lot of thought. And I thought I'd go on a little bit because I want to figure out exactly what nonprofits is Rush talking about. So follow me, man. Let's go around and see if we can figure this out. So Rush, is it the National Law Enforcement Officers Fund? The people who got together money to build a memorial here to officers who've been slain in the line of duty? Maybe it's the people who built the World War II memorial. I mean, this is the 65th anniversary of the end of World War II, and this weekend will be full of remaining vets. Maybe the people who built that war memorial are some of those lazy idiots you're talking about. Is that who you're talking about, Rush? Or maybe you meant the people who go to any one of the tens of thousands of houses of worship in our country, the churches, the synagogues and mosques. Rush, they're all nonprofits too, and every year millions of men and women come out there to make their faith manifest in America. And this is part of who we are as a people, Rush. Since the very founding of our republic, the idea of separation of church and state and the relationship we have to each other, that sense of our commitment that de Tocqueville marveled about when he came here, the sense of what it means to be an American. It's taking care of each other, Rush. And churches and houses of worship like this all across America, nonprofits filled with lazy idiots, rapers of our economy, man, that would hold us together. So if it's not people who build memorials, and if it's not people who go to church, it must be museums. Maybe that's who you're talking about, Rush. You know, I can understand, the idea of museums. I mean, really, do we need art and music? I mean, maybe these are the lazy idiots, the raper of the economy you're talking about. But I'm confused because I know you love music. You just had Elton John perform at your wedding. And in fact, Elton John's AIDS Foundation gives millions of dollars every year to help combat AIDS and help bring people together while you try and bring people apart. So I guess it's not music, even though this is an amazing, these museums all around America are places where we come to celebrate who we are as a people, the art of the Americas, the ingenuity of the Americas, the history of Americas, and frankly, it's also a place where kids come to learn. Is that who you're talking about, Rush? Are those the useful, the idiots of the future? So Russ, let me see. It's not houses of worship. It's not museums that really celebrate American history and music and art. It's not memorials like the World War II Memorial or the Fallen Officers Memorial. I'm trying to think, now I know what we're talking about. You're obviously talking about those big associations in Washington full of overpaid wonks, bean-headed, accountants that are trying to manipulate policy ideas to change the way Americans' laws are constructed, that really, again, use their position, their nonprofit status to influence laws, like the Heritage Foundation. That must be what you're talking about. But that can't be what you're talking about, Rush, because here you are right on the cover of their website, raising money for them. So obviously we're not talking about big think tank associations either. I don't know, Rush, what's left? Okay, Rush, so we've been all around. We're obviously, again, we're not talking about houses of faith. Again, that people make their faith manifest in their daily lives in America. We're not talking about things like the Heritage Foundation and big associations that you support. We're not talking about people who build memorials like the Fallen Officers Memorial. We went through and we looked at a lot of different groups, so I guess the only one left are programs like the DC Central Kitchen. And we're one of 1.4 million nonprofits and one of 14 million employees that you call lazy, idiots, people who rape the economy. And you must be talking about programs that, whine and talk about prison reentry, taking care of our elders, drug addicts. But I'll tell you what, Rush, meet Class 80. Class 80 in the DC Central Kitchen right here. 4 classes a year go through our job training program. Every day, these men and women produce 4,500 meals, which saves this city millions of dollars every single year. Then when they graduate, we pride ourselves on getting pretty much 100% job placement. And every year we graduate 4 classes. And those men and women collectively, they're going to earn $2 million, Rush. Now that's only a small amount of what you make every year, but for them that's a lot of money for this city. That's a lot of money because collectively, those 4 classes will also put about $210,000 in payroll taxes. So when you start talking about lazy idiots, Rush, and you start talking about raping the economy, you better get your facts straight. So on behalf of all nonprofits, but particularly us in the DC Central Kitchen, we got a one-word message for you, my brother.